Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me again for another FPL review and preview video. Now, game week 2 was absolutely terrible. We scored a massive 44 points, which definitely under par, and we are currently ranked at 5.3 million, which is terrible. So, as you can see, the team on the left is a little bit different to the team on the right. Now, shout out to Pete at FPL.team. If you've been watching for a while, you know that I love this website purely because of the flexibility, and it is just sensational to use. Now, as I said, both teams completely different, a lot of changes. As you've probably worked out right about now, we have wildcarded. I know. We've said that we wanted to get, well, our initial plan was to get past the international break and then make some transfers, which hasn't really come to fruition, has it? So, as you can see, both teams very different. Now, the reason for this is, well, just to put it bluntly, the players that we picked to start off this season, the 25-26 Premier League season, they're just, nothing's come to fruition. I mean, if we didn't have Pedro in the starting lineup, I mean, against West Ham, you'd think he'd be in there, but I don't know what was going through my mind. There was a few scenarios where he may have been potentially benched. I wasn't too sure if he was going to start, but I mean, thankfully he was on the field for us, because it could have been, 44 take away 15, quick maths 29, and we could have been ranked from here to the heavens. So I've decided that we need to do something. This is what we've gone with. Now, the image on the right, this is the team after the wildcard and how we are lining up for game week 3 and beyond. As I said before, a massive shout out to Pete. Because of the website, you can actually plan however many game weeks in advance, set your captaincy, set your bust team, however you want to go about it, and it makes me feel better knowing that I can actually see a little bit into the future. Obviously, there's going to be variables. Players get injured. There's an international break coming up. Transfer window is still active, but makes me feel a little bit more secure knowing and being able to visualize the team that I'm actually going to have in the coming game weeks. Now, these fixtures are taken from FPL.team, and they are from James from Planet FPL, so a massive shout out to them. I absolutely love their content. As you can see, what I have tried to do is pinpoint the teams that I want a piece of. I want a slice of their cake, so to speak. So we did have Palmer, and we had Pedro, and obviously Sanchez, but as you can see here, like Chelsea's fixtures from game week 3 up until Bournemouth in 15, all quite good. All very, very good. Same with Spurs. Their next, I'd argue their next 6 are very, very good. And we didn't have any Spurs. So that, as you know, if you've tuned in before, I follow Tottenham. I definitely wasn't expecting the start we've had so far. I mean, it can definitely all turn to shit, but while they're hot, why not jump on? Pedro Porro and Mohamed Kudus, they're in as well. We're keeping Nico Williams because of the fixture this week. We did have Milenkovic in. He is gone out purely because I wanted the Kiwi Lewandowski in himself, Chris Wood, who is a potential captaincy option this week for me, to partner Elliot Anderson and Nico Williams as the 3 Forest players I have. You can see in the midfield, there is a certain M. Salah who is not in there. Salah has been replaced. The funds have been redistributed for a more overall balance. Now, I've been extremely lucky because without captaining Salah for the past 2 game weeks and him scoring in post the 90th minutes, both games, FPL scoring wise, I should say returning, then our team would be far worse than what it is currently ranked. So, having said that, I do want some Liverpool offensive cover. I know that Cody Gakpo isn't going to completely cover Mo, but on the off chance that he can, I guess, get close to what Mo produces, then I'll be happy. Because their fixtures coming up, they've got Arsenal obviously this week, but then Burnley, Everton. You're going to want some form of Liverpool action in your team, so to speak. The next player in the midfield is a complete and utter 1 week punt, and that is Matheus Cunha. I wanted Bruno, couldn't get there due to funds, and I didn't want to change things around too much. So he is in for the 1 week, and I'll explain why shortly. Leading the line, we have the big man himself, Erling Haaland. I think that's does that need to be explained? At Brighton this week, which fairly decent fixture. Man United, Arsenal, and then they go on a 3-game run of Burnley, Brentford, and Everton. That could be absolutely immense for him. Absolutely immense. He should have returned at the weekend against Spurs. I have no idea how he missed, I guess, from 4 yards out, the header that went over the bar. That's a little bit lower. It's a completely different story. Chris Wood, as I said before, I mean, their fixtures are still good. West Ham this week, who literally can't defend to save themselves. Arsenal the week after, which is not fantastic, but then Burnley and Sunderland straight after in the next 2, which I am huge on. João Pedro, I mean, I don't think that needs to be explained. The pick speaks for itself. Martin Dubravka, that's just backup goalie. I don't think I'll ever play him, although I guess there could be a time where a rotation with Sanchez might fit, or it'll be a bench boost opportunity. I'm not entirely sure yet. Daniel Munoz of Crystal Palace is obviously being benched this week against Aston Villa. But afterwards, the 2-game stretch of Sunderland and West Ham, I want some Palace action for that. So instead of trying to bring him in, I thought, why not just stash him on the bench? Could even play him this week, to be fair. We have Tierney Reinders also. We just spoke about the City fixtures coming upwards, and I started him as well. So there's value connected to that pick, which I'm happy to keep. This one I was a little bit torn on. I didn't want an Arsenal defender. We'll be trying to get into the Arsenal defence come game week 7 and beyond that. But my last defensive spot is Virgil van Dijk, who stays in the team. I don't think he gets a clean sheet this week, but he has got some very nice DEFCON bonuses in, I believe, his last 2 games. So instead of finishing on 1, he's finished it on 3. I know not much of a difference, but the extra 2 points, I'm hoping the clean sheets start to pick up. So against Burnley and Everton, if that comes to fruition, instead of a flat 6, we could be looking at an 8 without any bonuses. And that is the wildcard team. That's what I have, I guess, landed upon. There is money in the bank. And with that being said, there's 0.5 in the bank. This is for game week 3. Cunha is literally just a 1 week punt for me. I'm still not sure on the captaincy yet. It'll either be out of Haaland or Wood. I'm not entirely sure. If we flick ahead, and I know I've said it before, but I love this site. I genuinely do. Flick ahead to game week 4. Right. this is how I plan to line up. As you can see, Cunha is gone. He is now gone to Ismail Assar for, as I spoke about before, that 2-game stretch for Palace, which looks absolutely fantastic. Nico Williams is benched. Reinders is still benched. Wood is benched. On comes Sarr, Virgil, and Munoz, and I'm fairly happy with that. Fairly happy. That's game week 4. Very happy with how this lines up. I expect Anderson to do quite well picking up DEFCONs against Arsenal. That's the only fixture that I'm actually a little bit worried about when looking at this. But overall, quite happy with how it's lining up. If we move on, it was game week 4. We have game week 5 here. Now, again, Reinders is still on the bench. Just good coverage. Again, I don't want to be losing out on the value. Obviously, the selling price, starting him, buying him back in would cost a little bit more than what it would be to just keep him. And I don't see any better options at that price having Anderson. Now, Cucurella will be benched to Man United away. Mohamed Kudus is on the bench again against Brighton. But this is how I would ideally like to line up if obviously everything goes to plan, which I'm sure it won't. But this is the beauty of being able to visibly see your fixtures in the future. If we move on to the next game week, we've traded out Ismail Assar. So this is game week 6 here. Sarr has gone to Rodgers because they have a nice little stretch here. If we're looking at it, we're looking at obviously Fulham at home, which, I mean, I'm more than happy to bring Rodgers in for that. Again, the fixtures are fantastic. The 3 Forest boys having Sunderland at home, and then 2 Man City assets against Burnley at home. And I'm fairly certain that Spurs' defensive capabilities will continue. So again, confident in Porro, Virgil, confident in the only issue benching headache wise may be Cucurella on over Virgil. I'm not too sure yet. But this is game week 6. So just so we know, Arsenal's amazing run of fixtures open up game week 7. So we're going to have one more preview of that week, and then that will conclude the video. So this is game week 7. Obviously, we still have Rodgers. We have traded Virgil out for Gabriel. And the lineup is as follows. Now, obviously, this is going to change, but this is just a little visualization of how I plan to hopefully make up some ranks. So, as you can see, I have definitely tried to get into the Arsenal defense and have done so by bringing Gabriel in. That could easily be Saliba or anyone along those lines. We have the money to do so. There's 1.4 million in the bank here, so whatever flexibility we need to execute, we definitely can. And also we've got free transfers to burn as well. So with all this being said, if we go back to game week 3, I'm hoping that we can do a little bit better than what we have done in the first initial 2 weeks. As I said, the plan was, and what we tried to stick to, was definitely not make any transfers post-international break, so pre-game week 4. That definitely hasn't come to fruition. We needed to distribute funds elsewhere. Currently going without Salah, and I'm absolutely terrified of that. But I think this would be the week to do it against a very good defensive team in Arsenal. I'm hoping, praying that he definitely does not return, and the funds that we've distributed can actually, I guess, attain more points than what has previously been attained in the first 2 opening weeks. The only issue that I'm not 100% set on with this wildcard team is I'm not entirely sure if I want double Chelsea defensive assets in Robert Sanchez and Mark Cucurella. I know at the start of the video we did say looking from 3 to 15, the only difficult fixtures I believe that they have is probably 3, which is Liverpool, Tottenham and Arsenal, and the rest look absolutely fantastic. It will just depend if, again, potentially we need to move some funds around to, for argument's sake, bring in a Palmer or obviously do something along those lines. I really like having the 0.5 in the bank, and obviously that goes up after we've booked in Cunha to Ismail Assar next week for that nice little 2-game week stretch for Palace of their amazing fixtures. But I'm feeling fairly confident on this game, on this wildcard team. If you've made it this far and you've enjoyed all the dribble and everything like that, then thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to leave a like, don't forget to leave a comment, and if you're not subscribed and you've made it this far, then my goodness, just do it. Just do it. It is Wednesday lunchtime here, so I'm a little bit hesitant to say that this will be my final wildcard team locked and loaded for the weekend. It is subject to change, so we'll see how we get along, and if there's any injuries, any news along those lines that would prompt us to change it, then I'm sure we can do so accordingly. But I'm going out on a limb and saying I am 85% locked in. So, as always, thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. Any comments, please drop them below. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Thank you very much for making it this far. And if you're liking the content, let me know. Let me know. If you disagree with any of my reasoning, let me know. If you agree, then let me know. We might be onto something. I might be completely off on something. I'm not too sure. Thank you once again, and I'm sure I'll see you next time. Enjoy. If you've enjoyed this video, then please like and subscribe. And don't forget to check out the website at supercoachswordplay.com.